Trojan family, what is up? Welcome back to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB network. I'm your host, Ryan Dyrud. Hope everyone is doing fantastic. Start of the week, brand new year, and plenty of USC news to get to. Let's just jump right into it. The third transfer portal edition for your USC Trojans. Wide receiver Terrell Anderson officially signs with USC. Big get for Chad Savage, Dennis Simmons, and Lincoln Riley. We talked about the need to go get a wide receiver, not necessarily the highest priority. I think defensive players in terms of cost controlled need to be the higher priority, but certainly adding a somewhat veteran receiver to this very young group was a position of need. USC goes out and gets it and gets Terrell Anderson from NC State. He was the fourth ranked wide receiver in the portal rankings, however you want to rank those. 6'2", 204 pounds, so great size there. He's going to be a junior next year, so played freshman year sparingly, and then really kind of came on this year as a sophomore at NC State. He finished with 39 receptions, 629 yards, and 5 touchdowns, and was originally a 4-star recruit, offers from Georgia, Tennessee, and many other players in the Southeast region. So through his entire career, so 2 seasons, he has 53 catches, 787 yards, and 6 total touchdowns. I mean, this is, I think, a really, really good player. When you look at PFF grades, 3.48 yards per route run versus man coverage, which is 9th in the Power 4. And he has his quarterback, I should say, has a 141.4 QB rating when targeted, which is 8th in college football. So a really talented kid, kind of a lackluster offense at NC State, but comes over here and can thrive in this system. In terms of outside, inside, 105 total snaps in the slot last year, 355 on the outside. So probably more suited for that outside, especially with that size, 6'2", 205, like I said. But absolutely can play from the slot as well for certain different play calls. So just a really, I think, good player. And I think this, in my opinion, is probably the best receiver option that USC could have gotten. Now, that doesn't mean he's the best receiver, but for USC, I think this one made the most sense. When you look at Cam Coleman, the number 1 player in the portal, number 1 receiver, and when you look at Nick Marsh, who committed already to Indiana, but he was like number 2 and so on and so forth. Not saying those guys wouldn't have been great. I mean, if you haul in one of those guys, great. They're going to help your program. Not a bad thing, but just kind of looking big picture, those guys are going to cost a fortune. I mean, there's talk of Cam Coleman costing in that $3 to $5 million for 1 season range. And so that's going to take a huge part of your budget. Like, I don't know if you guys are seeing what's going on. USC has a good NIL budget. They're not Texas Tech. Texas Tech has an open checkbook. It's like Texas Tech and Oregon and some of these other schools are just open checkbook for whoever they want. Texas Tech is going to bankroll. Basically, if they want someone, they're going to pay the price to go get them. And it's going to take that player kind of turning down the highest offer to not go to Texas Tech. So, you don't want to it's not worth getting in a bidding war in that. Wasting time. Set your sights on someone else that fits. And set your sights on what you need more in the portal, which, like I've said, is defensive players. Already landed Jontez Williams, huge get from the cornerback position. Already landed Devin Bryant, big get at the linebacker position. Now you got to go get some trench guys, some big trench guys, probably another backer. And then after that, it's kind of depth pieces. So go spend big on that. Receiver wasn't the biggest need. You needed to spend kind of, 5th in terms of cap allocation, if we want to call it that, for the receiver position. So I think spending-wise, I don't know what his NIL deal is. It's going to be not cheap necessarily, but certainly less than Coleman and Marsh. So I think that's smart. 2, you don't want someone, and this is more, probably more fodder talk. If you're building the right culture and have competition, it shouldn't matter. But you don't want to bring someone in that is going to command so much attention that it takes away what you've built in this receiving room with these young players. Because development is really key, and some of that development requires game day reps, game day targets, game day catches. And so while you needed a veteran presence in there, especially on like third and go situations, especially late in games. If you're down or up and need that game ending reception, you want someone that's had some of those reps, but you don't want to have someone that's going to command necessarily 120 targets and take all that away from your youth that you are building your future on. And someone like a Cam Coleman, if you're paying him $4 million, now let me say this. I don't think Lincoln Riley and the staff is ever going to care and have that dictate how they run things. I mean, there's reports, I don't know how credible for sure, but there's reports Prince Strawn, USC paid him $500K and he finished the season with like one catch. So, and part of that was injury, unfortunately. Just couldn't get back on the field after getting injured. But I think they've proven like, hey, we're going to take a swing, get guys here, pay them, but that's not going to dictate how we play. So I'm not saying it like that, but $3 to $4 million is a lot different than $500,000. And a guy of Cam Coleman's stature, the media attention he's going to get, the fan attention he's going to get, like he's going to have to be the focal point of the offense, as he should. I mean, he's really good. So let's not take anything. I'm not saying like, not trying to say it in a way that he wouldn't be a great player. But when you look at who's coming back, Tinook Hines, Corey Sims, Ramir Eisen, when you look at all these freshmen that are going to play early, Boobie Feaster, Caden Dixon-Wyatt, Trent Mosley, Luke Weaver, go down the list. Zacharias Williams coming back, who I think actually has a lot of talent and can show people he's really good. And unfortunately was just hurt this year. I mean, he, led the Big 12 as a freshman, or for sure led Utah as a true freshman. So he's a guy I think they're really excited about. So by getting someone like Terrell Anderson, you get a guy that's only going to be a junior, so still fairly young, but he has 2 years of experience, was kind of the lead guy last year, and so he can come in and be kind of the lead guy in the room, but isn't command and take everything away from everyone else, is the way I see it. So I think it's exactly what USC should have done when targeting the receiver position. You get a guy that can give you those valuable reps, that is a really underrated receiver. I mean, the great size, 6'2", 204. Like I said, plays inside and outside, has great catch radius. So he gives you a lot of that skill set, but he's not commanding the dollars and the attention of like one of those top dogs because, well, he could end up being here 2 years and be one of those top guys, and you want to turn him into that. The future focus is still on the guys that have been here that were recruited here. And so that doesn't change with this signing. So I think it's a home run signing, for all the reasons I listed. I don't need to keep repeating it. So I think that's a great get, and really will love to see him, how he'll develop. I don't see them adding any more receivers. If they do, it'll be purely for depth. Cam Coleman was reportedly scheduled to visit next week, or now this week, I guess, on the 8th, I think. I assume that will probably be done. I don't think he will visit anymore, or maybe they'll still host him and just kind of test the waters and see what kind of where that goes. But to me, that would probably end there, and they'll move on, and they'll be set now with Anderson moving forward at the receiver position. So I think if they add anyone else, it's purely for depth, but I don't think they really need that when you see how many receivers now on the roster with, the 4 for turning, the 6 coming in, you're at 11. So you get some priority walk-ons as well. So I think that position's pretty much set. So great addition. And look forward to see who they add next, probably on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of news today, so I'll be back on a bunch. USC announcing another re-signing today, so we will talk about that from the current roster. Some DC talk, got to get into it. There's a lot of big NFL names that I kind of want to talk about when you consider the connection with Rob Ryan, when you consider the connection with Eric Henderson. Like, those guys are highly connected in the NFL world. College football is becoming more NFL-like. Maybe it is best to go for an NFL-type DC if they're willing to come down to college. So we're going to talk about that later today. Plus some recruiting stuff. We got the Navy All-American Bowl on tap. And any other transfer portal news we get into. So it's hot and heavy, coming hot and quick. So keep it right here on the USC LAFB YouTube channel. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you're notified on everything. Become a member. You get some merch discounts. We're dropping some new USC merch here very soon, so you'll be at the forefront of that. Plus, head over to LAFBnetwork.com and sign up for our message board. It's completely free. We drop all of our intel, just easy to digest information there as well. So appreciate you, family. As always, fight on. Hey, Trojan family, thank you so much for hanging out and watching the USC LAFB show. Before you go, let me tell you quickly about our friends over at Sleeper. Go right now, download the Sleeper app. It's the #1 sports app, not just for season-long fantasy, but they've got live pickers, they've got live stat updates, they've got a chat you can chat with other users, plus the daily pick'em, which is a blast, or daily fantasy, whatever you want to call it. You go and pick 2 to 8 players across any sports. If you're talking USC, go choose J.D. Mayav in his next matchup. Pick more or less passing yards, more or less touchdowns. You stack those, and you can win real money. When you go to make your first deposit, make sure you use our promo code USCLAFB. You're going to get a match deposit up to $100. Put in $100, you get $100 free to play with from Sleeper. Put in $10, they'll match you that $10, so now you're sitting at $20 to play with. But also, right now, for any new users, no deposit required. You get $20 free entry. You can stack both. You can get the $20 for free, go make a deposit, use USC LAFB, and now you've got a bunch of free money to play with right there on the Sleeper app. Check it out, Trojan family, and when you do, tell them the guys at the USC LAFB sent you.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.